wacky
funk.
night.
Yeah. You know what? I think it shows a little bit because he wasn't getting the ice time that I know he wanted towards the end, and for him to be able to manage that. And I asked him, and he wanted to get back out, and he went and made a difference. I think it is a big time play, a big time finish by him, but a really big time play by Seven to get him in. And you need your difference makers to be difference makers, and that won us the hockey game.
Daniel House had some tough moments, but in overtime, he came up with a couple plays for you that, led to Quinn's play. Just can you talk about how he kind of bounced back and, weathered the storm a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? Again, I'm sure he's going to look at it and wishes he had a couple of them back. That's a work in progress for us right now, but for him to buckle up and find a way, like they came down on that, it was really a little bit of a shade of an outnumbered rush, the one that you're talking about, and he finds a way to make a save, and we transition out of that and head the other way. And so it's just, you know what? Like I said, it's hard to win in this league, and tonight, 6 was enough, but we needed all 6. And so I think we did some good things offensively, and there's some things that we can obviously continue to work on.
Why did you have Quinn sitting a little bit, I guess, in the third period then? Is that just an accumulation of things?
Yeah, I mean, and again, the one thing that I'll tell you that I think is pretty impressive is, he didn't sit there and pout about it. He went right back out and worried about his next shift and made a difference.
Yeah, after getting that 5-2, or you have 3 goals in the third period, what kind of stood out to you from a defensive standpoint? Obviously, you're gonna have some teaching points, but what kind of stood out to you in terms of maybe where some of those breakdowns were occurring?
Yeah, for us, I mean, I thought our puck management, where we helped them get into transition multiple times, really starting in the second period, of trying to make that next play. Instead of putting it in an area where we could go get it and support it. And so I think that started, and then, we take a penalty and we're not able to kill it, almost kill it, but don't. And then momentum goes back to their side. So for us, just a little bit of puck management and making sure that when we have that opportunity, we make them come through us instead of getting them into transition.
The one they tied it on, and a couple of power play goals were, cross ice one timers. Is that an awareness thing, do you think, from the guys that are out there to not give up those lanes, or did Notre Dame just see them really well and take some advantage?
Well, I think if you look at that game tying goal, we were in a really good spot. We just backed off. Palatachuk had pressured. Even if he stays in that battle, we don't allow, I think it was Muzzati, to turn around and face that. And then on the weak side, they found that seam. Good players can be really good players if you give them time and space. And I thought we backed off a little too much there and didn't protect our belly, and they got a seam pass, and the guy one-timed it. So opportunity for us to learn.
I think 8 of your guys had multi-point nights. Given just how this team's kind of been struggling to get goals, how good was that part of the game to see?
Well, different when you start going through the group and you've got 7, 8, 9 guys with points. That's a good night for us as far as spreading the wealth, and it's something that we've been waiting for a while. I know Zelenoff, might have struggled a little bit at just not being greedy enough and passed up a few shots. But having him back in the lineup and us having a group of forwards that we can rely upon. Grady Deering's playing some of his best hockey here over the last 3-4 weeks. Bots is really starting to have a little bit more consistency to his game. And when we can play with our depth a little bit more, I think that makes us a more of a difficult matchup. It's what we relied upon over the first half of the season.
Given how the last 3 weeks went, can you put a value on what it means walking out of here with a win versus what it would have been like walking out with a loss after being up 5-2?
You know what? It's the group at times. I'm sure over this last couple of weeks, when you don't have the success that you expect to have, you can start to question a little bit. And again, the 5-2 lead ended up a 6-5 win, and so we're going to build off of that. We will learn from leaking a little oil as we did there in the third, but that's an opportunity to learn when you're winning a hockey game, and we haven't had an opportunity to do that for a little while.
Still unsure what it is. They said misconduct, which would obviously not be something we want to see.
It says 2 minutes for throwing a stick. Yeah, my understanding is it's 2 minutes, or at least that's what I see, and I haven't heard anything different.